$18 million, and as a bachelor quarter award $18 million, $18 million. It was never the case. You because say, some person when $18 million for judgment and up to now for judgment be a never and a court to say $500 you want some by based on the application Ura Kennedy Agyapong lawyers here maybe
$80 million a court at the award de Anass Aremeyao a Kennedy Agyapong case no one se amene wo say new update about and it's a court reduces his scadon at $500 and more details and I'm about on me de some more GH5 media so one subscribe to channel no make sure so be subscribe say that notification bell no at on obi e follow or Facebook said be ya news be out for my so benya update ne ebi some be kaya enche ye bia nam de Kennedy Agyapong woni Anass court case issues ne bi ebramo na wo hwe ensema honorable Kennedy Agyapong ebe kan de fa Anass mo say we thief or ye medra or ye wudini we pabone for and tokwa de omo be kon bi ye pa sansem no and Anass ehu ni say Kennedy akasem edidi natem obu nanim tia waka nsem bi de atone so enye no cry bro ni kasa be kasa defamation and osu no before so then beko US no na wadi kan asiu no Ghana say 25 million Ghana cedis chese omubo asem no etugu ye enu amu no se da bi se Ghana fo endi na asema mana wadi beko abrochire ene no so no wadi ko piem wo kota akoye kwanabra meka menkasa ne bewiase court edi case no edema Anass nene honorable Kennedy ye bonika $80 million ne beto odwasa no yanka say the pictures ne bi ebe somo ewo GH5 media esom na sika no and according to report saka Tiger Eye Anass ankasa de ababonten say Kennedy Agyapong kas odebi emum se wajatum se dokeka fa Anass ho mrebi atwam no entwa ye wanka ne ye waka asem de egu ne ho fi egu n'animu ase naso sika court e de awode eye Anass no mo bɔ ne ka e ho no de sika no de company phone hwe no munye bibi enfountain ne ensemo ne lawyer e kan ne lawyer nso de court ne nim se ne client e Kennedy senkometumi asre no matisika no so e de amana enkana ni ebeji ye pa enese ne o meta se menta se beto so yendo sa finally court team atisika no so se de sika de award Anass $500 na wo hwe Anass ne statement Anass in press release what they buy Anass mekom no making kind of mama saying our victory is in the judgment and not the award. As Ghanaians may recall, a couple of weeks ago an American jury found Kennedy Agyapong guilty of maliciously defaming my character. Consequent to the finding by the jury, an amount of $18 million was awarded in my favor against Kennedy Agyapong. Following the award, Kennedy Agyapong filed a motion of remitter, asking the judge to reduce the amount awarded against him, thus inherent in his motion. Kennedy Agyapong admitted to having maliciously defamed me. Today, the trial judge granted Kennedy Agyapong's motion for remitter and reduced the initial award to $500. This means that while the judge held that Kennedy Agyapong had defamed me, in his reasoning, the award against Kennedy Agyapong by the jury was excessive. Many avenues of redemption occurred to me, but it is important to state, as I previously did, that this fight has not been about money, but rather a fight for truth and justice. I am happy that not a single allegation was proven against me in court when Kennedy Agyapong was given full opportunity to substantiate. I will continue in my relentless fight against corruption, and in doing that, continue to name shame and jail. I was for way Anass the statement our day about Bontain on the 11th of May 2025. Now no other issues are press release way yente honorable Kennedy Agyapong nenka e was a case we when him say honorable and okope mu e wo mampon hene na ye no wane ba homia ne NPP mpanifo pina ene kohye mu e wo honom na ono ankasa de o meka bibia emfa ho yet
Owura Anass asema odi koja America court Ewura Kennedy Agyapong akasem bia fa no na asem no ntene papa no na court award $18 million no yedi ka kire mu se court on fa judgment bia mai and there is no $18 million even in the first place and they kire mu o mo fidie using other platforms social media onuma na omopo mo esi body na mja yo mo de se Ewura Kennedy Agyapong ho akwa hwe hia mu de o mo enti asem kra kai on money other lawyers in paying for the journalists and the other media houses or my song guys and pa is over reckon Japan $18 million. No correct na Americans is game mono. One more 10-year crown and as a boat 10 be an court process be an in Pogana Hokrawaha. It will be a friendly jury trial. I know the your friendly per or no more judges or more lawyers, no more have a tell margin was sending in a jury no at the $18 million damages by so racken in jail. But the only say it's a jury the bar. I was a court to also edutum and sign a court to make the final judgment of the court. We in a court to need to Anna Urakan Japan lawyers and objected. Say instructions said they ma court to the ma jury no one more any so. Na anona ema court no two the whole adoption of the judgment no said that Emma or yes any one more be objection na Urakan the lawyers at the abano say Sebu if it holds what I say asema mo kakra bi ewo na one more ko echi kwa no Urakan the lawyers explore different strategy ohwe America one New Jersey one more mran hye mu a say woko court na in defamation matters no woko na bia o say defamation matters ya wo bia actual damages compensatory damages punitive damages let us say e kanapa ye bo di pakro na bia yeso odi fo anase ye bo no kwadu no wo mu ahodo bebre na New Jersey ni hye mu no say woko na wokopɛ actual damages no and say bi obi de car about ototo na taxi mu na bia wan kwadwuma ba bosom miensa also otimi kire court no say sa bosom miensa na wan kwadwuma no enkasika obenya ni ndika waboni eno ana wuchire ma court no be kase ene eno kura be ma asa ma punitive damages e bia de pakrokro de car ba bo wudiem wan drive ye ntie hwe na so ansa na ba compensatory say ne pataw na no so ye de bibi kakra ye de amount na New Jersey nhyehyɛ mu so wokofa actual damages no Anna we eligible to the punitive damages, which means so one go for actual damages, you are not eligible to punitive damages. The baby are obey eligible court no and answer mremuno New Jersey mremuno obey eligible only the compensatory damages. Where Anass rate or the court there was no place of pay for actual damages. And this one compare actual damages here, you are also not entitled to punitive damages. The baby carry compensatory say patao. Na empate muno ana court no say or more pata Anass $500. We Kennedy Agyapong pata the $500. Indeed, the proper bomu na say New Jersey law no ana almost statutes no the compensatory damages na court no awarded there. Any kwan say bro $500. Say actual no more enya de emre ni mo. Indeed, one more can say ya pay judgment so first $18 million to $500 and enter.
Okay.
What it means in say this is now the first judgment, and the $18 million no more cano. Not court to be anywhere at $18 million ahead at two.
Okay. And the Kansas Sabri no $18 million no. Na eno ye one year one nim emra ho hwe. Na court no ka say bi aye de mamunti mu hwem sen kamoa mo be ka ne sen na chese no na emfri de court no nkasa kan enye sa.
Ono mo jury no, omo do omo nya lawyer, omo nya judges. But omo boa me yedi asem no. Into court no be more instructions say ebia asumesi an obente udi for dia yemfa sa fines na say damages and charges na and also into omunkope charges number. But in doing so they have to go strictly by the court's instructions and our directives. One more the bar court no court no gi o master no tum na before court no be gi atum ehse court no hu say instructions or them no omo di so answer na court na ye de agi atum we no man go di so and the more can lawyers object here. In the court, no to me in the first place, say a judgment of the court. And you can call it a proposal that they have to bring. Then the court adopts him. Court no adopt and the final judgment of the court. Into a new humpo. And one more no more can say court to say what $18 million and as a better as a court award $18 million. It was never the case. Yemubika say some person when $18 million for judgment and after now for judgment be another Anna and the court to say $500 you want some based on the application Ura Kennedy Agyapong lawyers here maybe say Okoye BB a friend who say Anass trust Okoye so yanteso we need that remittance process no The process the lawyers adopted was they made an application and almost filed a motion for BBFN molding. Let's just say, the whom say, proposal and I said damages are jury now suggestion. Molding, I don't know how to put it in cheap, but so the court accepted it, and now the court has now agreed say $500 should be what the Kennedy Agyapong should be. Now, no crowd, memo and crash access on one crab your money in chair.
Enti cancel not just say no. Yabeka say Anass. No di kan be kan ye no or the bedada Ghana for be two foot Ghana for any brown on so a lawyer.
Obia Odi kan said there was a judgment of $18 million. There was nothing like that. Who said maybe can once said there was no judgment. Emma Nipa Di Matema said, oh, we a lawyer that bear or Kakasa. And on that, they say time reveals and time vindicates. And then time I vindicate you in
May any and some lawyer near when him day our Kennedy DNM or the Ababetuja. In him set time court awarded that $18 million at the man national Kennedy Ghana or the cancer be the some more our page we are so quite channel nima obehu sa video no do cancer be still nano obeko soa ayen honorable na baby no credano wetimi edi atohonom na bra court awarded Anass $18 million obeye video at the fan ho sa video no any.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand before you not just as a journalist, but as a witness to history, a child of Ghana's turbulent past, and a soldier in the fight for truth. Yesterday, in the Essex County Superior Court of New Jersey, an 8-member jury delivered a unanimous verdict holding Kennedy Agyapong, former Ghanaian MP, liable for defamation and awarding damages of $18 million. The ruling is more than a legal victory. It is a profound affirmation that truth matters, that justice is not a privilege of the powerful, and that the arc of history does indeed bend towards righteousness. My story begins long before this moment. I was born at the 37 Military Barracks in Accra, the son of the soldier who served in an era where power belonged to those who wielded the gun. I grew up watching my nation transition from military rule to democracy, witnessing firsthand the struggle of ordinary Ghanaians yearning for justice, transparency, and accountability. When Ghana finally embraced democracy, I knew that safeguarding it required more than just laws. It needed the unyielding courage of those willing to hold power accountable. That is why I chose journalism, not as a career, but as a calling. Over the years, my team and I have exposed corruption at the highest levels, from the corridors of politics to the halls of justice. But in fighting the corrupt, one becomes a target. Mr. Agyapong, in a desperate bid to silence me, labeled me a land grabber, an extortionist, a murderer, a tax evader, and a blackmailer who ought to be hanged. These were not just lies. They were calculated attempts to destroy my credibility and put my life in danger. While Ghana's legal system failed to deliver justice in 2018, the U.S. court upheld truth. This case was not easy. Proving defamation in the United States requires establishing actual malice by a clear and convincing evidence standard, one of the highest legal thresholds in the world. That the jury ruled 8-0 in my favor on every count is a testament to the fact that Mr. Agyapong acted with reckless disregard. Regrettably, Ghana's justice system has not always lived up to the principles of fairness and impartiality. When I sued Mr. Agyapong in 2018, despite his inability to legally substantiate his allegations, the court ruled against me, with Justice Barr scandalously branding me a terrorist instead of adjudicating the facts before him. This miscarriage of justice was later condemned by Supreme Court Justice Kolende, who rightly described it as a violent abuse of judicial authority. My fight has never been for personal gain, but for the soul of Ghana's democracy. This victory in the US sends a powerful message. The media cannot be silenced. Truth cannot be buried. and those who wield power must be held accountable. Let this moment be a wake-up call to all who seek to erode the foundations of justice in Ghana. Let it remind us that democracy is not just about elections, but institutions that uphold the truth, courts that deliver justice without fear or favor, and citizens who refuse to accept corruption as the norm. To my legal team, Andrew Dehere Esquire, Atawomega Esquire, Evans Salasi Adeka Esquire, and Odei Kro Esquire, I am forever grateful for your dedication to justice. And to my supporters in Ghana and around the world, your unwavering belief in the fight strengthens my resolve. The battle against corruption continues. We will name shame and jail. Ghana deserves better, and I will never stop fighting for a future where justice is not a privilege of the powerful, but the right of every citizen. Thank you.
I was for any update about for Honorable Kennedy Agyapong one Anass Aremeyaw Anass omo issue no ehunfofo bia free oba ebe sense the Bible so mo medin any catch akusema kra mo nyina.